Richard Clayderman was born Philippe Pagès on December the 28th, 1953, to a piano teacher father and a caretaker mother. Along with his elder sister, Annie, Philippe Pagès grew up in an apartment in a Parisian suburb.
The office was there on the first floor, but I think it does not exist anymore. It's just a simple door now. There used to be 2 doors, so my mother could receive the people coming to pay their rent.
Well, I remember when I was very young, you know, it was very nice for me to play the piano, and I thought that maybe one day I would like to do something with the music. I had to work a lot because I was not a genius for the piano. So I remember when I was young, I used to practice a lot.
Philippe's father often gave piano lessons to neighborhood children in the family home.
My first memory was when I was 4 or 5 years old. My father was a piano teacher, and he used to give lots of lessons at home with lots of kids, and I was very happy to be sitting in front of my father and to listen to him.
It was not long before Philippe was introduced to the piano and the possibilities of music.
He was a good teacher, and he gave me lots of good lessons, and it was always a pleasure to work with him, you know. And he was very gentle and very nice with me.
By the time he was 6 years old, Philippe Pagès was said to be more skilled at reading music than reading his native French. By the age of 8, he was entering and winning local competitions. Despite his modesty, the young Philippe Pagès was accepted into the Conservatoire de Musique to study at the age of 12.
I worked in that room. Here we used to do everything: musical theory, musical dictation. There used to be a piano, not as good as this one. It was an upright piano. There used to be around 20 pupils.
Yes, I went to the conservatoire when I was 14, 15 years old. And it was something special because I have studied a lot of classical pieces, and I must say it is a key for what I do now. And during this time, I have the opportunity to play with another musicians, and it was something special for me to be at the Conservatoire of Paris.
At 16, Philippe Pagès won first prize at the Conservatoire. In a class of over 20 pupils, Philippe Pagès was a standout talent. The school prided itself on molding classical musicians of the future by directing the curriculum towards Chopin and Debussy. But it was the early 70s, a time of change and rebellion. Philippe Pagès, the young 18-year-old adult, had other ideas.
My next step was to play with also lots of musicians, but a little bit more rock and roll, pop music. And I was very happy because it's better for me to play another style of music.
Philippe and some friends formed a rock group and endured very tough times. All money, what little there was, went into the purchase of equipment.
During this time, I used to buy lots of keyboards, for example, and lots of synthesizer.
At that time, his father was becoming seriously ill and unable to support his son financially. So Philippe took up work during the day as a bank clerk. By night, he was fulfilling an ambition to work with music, working as an accompanist and session musician.
It was a hard time when I was 17, 18 because it was difficult for me to earn my living and to have lots to have money, you know. So that's why I decided to work in a bank to have a little bit money, you know, and it was easier for me to have this job and to try to do something with the music.
As an accompanist, Philippe's talent did not go unnoticed, and he was in great demand to accompany such musicians as Michel Sardou and Thierry Leluron.
I have this opportunity to meet lots of very good French singers and also my future producers. So it was a step very important for me.
It was during this time that Philippe Pagis married. In 1976, Philippe received a phone call from Olivier Toussaint, a well-known French record producer who, with his partner, Paul de Senneville, was looking for a pianist to record a gentle piano ballad written by de Senneville for his daughter. The 22-year-old Philippe Pagis was auditioned along with 20 other hopefuls, and to his amazement, he got the job.
I listened to this melody for the first time. I said, I love this melody, and so I tried to do something special with this melody.
Olivier Toussaint and composer Paul de Senneville were immediately impressed by Philippe's soft touch on the keyboards. They also thought his looks combined with his personality would work well for the team and found the choice at the audition an easy one. Ballade pour Adeline became a huge success, far exceeding anyone's expectations. The melody sold over 22 million copies in 38 countries.
When I spoke with my producers at that time, they told me, you know, if we have a small success in France, we will be very happy. And I said, me too, you know. But after a few months, it was a big hit in Spain, a big hit in Germany, a big hit in Europe, you know. And after it was South America, a little bit in North America. And after Japan, Asia, and after Australia. I was very surprised, yes.
Philippe Pagis' name was changed to Richard Clayderman. He adopted his great-grandmother's surname to avoid mispronunciation of his real name outside France. It was the start of what has become an outstanding success story. And since that time, Richard's own distinctive piano style has earned him superstar status all over the world.
Well, about this tune, I must say it was something special because at that time it was the disco music, and Ballade is very soft. This melody was a little bit different.
He has created a new romantic style through a repertoire that combines trademark originals with classics and pop standards, and has clocked up massive worldwide record sales in excess of 65 million, with 263 gold and 63 platinum discs to his credit.
Well, my style of music is something special between romantic and popular music and classical music.
Richard has recorded and performed over 816 singles, 218 of which are original titles. In choosing the titles he performs, Richard is quite discerning.
It is very important because I need a good sound, I need a good musicians, and when I have this good sound, good musicians, I feel better, you know, to play the titles that I have to play on stage.
Richard has performed classic compositions, including the hits from Andrew Lloyd Webber, Elton John's Candle in the Wind and Something About the Way You Look Tonight, and the Barbra Streisand and Celine Dion duet Tell Him. Richard is much more than a recording artist. In spite of his natural shyness and reserve, he is completely in his element on stage.
Yeah. I must say that I'm so happy, you know, to play when I am sitting in front of my piano, because I think about the titles that I have to play, and also I think about my family, or sometimes I think about my best way of playing the piano.
Similar to his days as an accompanist, Richard has often collaborated with musicians of note, such as Francis Goya and Claudia Jung, as well as up-and-coming talents like the young Xiao Rong. In May 1998, Richard Clayderman performed a duet with the 9-year-old Xiao Rong. Out of more than 100 young girls, Xiao Rong from China was selected. Composed specifically for these two pianists by Paul de Senneville, the video clip for Chinese Garden was filmed in Beijing. Despite his phenomenal success, Richard Clayderman still denies himself genius status, instead attributing his career longevity to many hours of practice.
Yes, I have a routine every day. I have to play on my piano, and as I'm not a genius, because I have to practice between 2 and 4 hours a day.
Richard Clayderman's hands are ensured